Hey guys, Robin here. As promised, I wanted to get you this video about Streak, and I have just found this to be a humongous game changer. All right, so if you go to streak.com, that's where you're going to start, and you're going to get to this page, and it's going to ask you to install Streak. I believe the button is right here. I can't exactly remember, but since I'm already installed, it's telling me to go to Gmail. So all of this, by the way, has to be done on Chrome, Google Chrome, as your browser. So that's the only way this works. Okay, so I'm just going to go. I'm already here, and I actually set up a new Gmail account to start all of this, to kind of start fresh. If you have an existing one, that's fine, or you can set up a new one. Okay, so the setup, when you start, you're going to start a new pipeline. And I don't know what all of these mean per se, and it might be that just the stages are already set up. But I was just trained from another video that I watched to just click this sales CRM, and it loads these stages already automatically set up for you. So, but this is all completely modifiable. So if you click on this gasket here, you can rename it to whatever you want. You can change the colors. If you want pastels, you can use pastels, etc. So that's where you do that. And I'm going to go over what my stages are, and you guys can do whatever works best for you. Each pipeline you set up, you can see mine here, is a group of people that you have in there. To me, I just wanted everyone either as a contact or a coach prospect. And if they're a contact, they're just a customer, and they remain a customer until they become a coach prospect. And then I also created one for my coaches, and I'm going to start, I have not imported. I think I only have one person in here. Yeah, and she's a new coach, because I want to be able to send emails and things like that, and I can find out where they are in the training, if they're emerald status or diamond, and I can move them on up, and it will just help me track where my coaches are in one spot without having to go to a sponsorship drill down report and everything. Okay, so going back to my contacts, this is my main one, and these stages you can set up however you want, like I mentioned before. So I start with a like and comment list, and my like and comment list is, look at these. These are really random, not random. They're deliberate, and they're intentional people that I searched hashtag, and then I started liking their stuff. So now I go back down and I keep adding value to them and connecting with them. And ultimately, for me, I want to pull someone from Instagram over to Facebook, because that's definitely where I'm comfortable. These are also people that have either liked or commented on my Facebook page. New people that weren't already on my contact list. So on my page, if I get a new page then I friend them and send them a message, and then they move on through here. So, but if, for example, if one night I'm watching TV, laying on the couch, and I get a message on my phone that I got a new page and I don't want to forget that I want to friend them, then I'm going to put them in this like and comment list. To me, the point is to move these contacts through the stages, ultimately to join a challenge group, invite to a challenge group, join a challenge group, and potentially move on to coaching. So the new contacts are anyone so we have the Crockpot group, and if I invited someone to the Crockpot group that wasn't already on my list, I'm adding them as a contact, and I'm just going to start moving them through this process. Also, friends of friends that have accepted a friend request, again, I'm going to move them on through the process. The next category is I sent a friend request and I'm waiting for a reply. And so if I go to these, Okay, so some of these people have accepted. The next one is started a conversation, and that's where I'm going to start talking to them, forming them, finding out about them. And then as I do that, then I'm going to move them on to an ongoing conversation if we've been chatting back and forth. Adding value. I don't know if I'll actually put people in this stage, but the reason I have this here is I want to make sure that these new contacts that I have, that I'm adding value, that I'm liking and commenting on their stuff, etc. Then there's a point where I've invited them to participate in a challenge group or to be in a sneak peek or whatever. Follow up. There's going to be a no, not right now, or they've ordered. I've added them to their first challenge group. So this is kind of like an active, responding actively in a challenge group, move them, get ready to move them to coach prospect pipeline. And then idle is if someone hasn't replied back to me after I've asked a few questions or I've followed up. Okay, so that explains my stages. Up here, these columns are whatever information you want to track. So I want to track, obviously, the person's name, days in stage. Oh, and to change these or to add, so this, if you scroll over, this one allows you to add a column. And then here, you can either hide a column, you can sort them, you can move the columns, etc. Now, days in stage is how long they've been a new contact. And really your goal would be to move people along, right? I mean, if we want to make progress. So like, I shouldn't see 18s and 16s and stuff like that. 32s. These people have not replied, so they probably should be moved over to idle. She actually has replied, so I need to move her. So that's what the days in stages. So all of these people that are zeros, I added yesterday, so it hasn't even been a full day. And then it moves down. Again, I want to be moving people along in the stages. Notes. I'm putting a note. I'm putting a date that I made the note and how the conversation that I've had or so-and-so recommended them, that they call me or following up or whatever. I'm making a note every time I make a connection, not to overwhelm you with making so many notes, but as you can see, as you have more and more contacts added to your list, it could be hard to keep track of what the last part of the conversation was. And you don't want to have to scroll through a whole chat message or all your emails or whatever. So I like that I can just make a little note. It'll remind me of what it was. This column is product interest. Product interest, when I created this column over here, I made it as a tag. So here I created a tag. And the reason that I did that is because I want to track, once we get further down, what their interest is. And I can do that. If I do this, then if I want to filter anyone that is interested in the 21-day fix, then I can filter it by that tag. So that's a very deliberate reason to do a tag on there. Sources where I know them from. Maybe they were a lead or a Pinterest follower or a friend from high school or Facebook or a friend of a friend, whatever it is. So that's where I'm tracking that. And that is just a free form column. The coach checkbox is if I see them as coach material, or I want to invite them to the opportunity. This is when you do the plus for the column, this is a checkbox. Dream team. This is someone that I want on my team for whatever reason, because they're my best friend and I want to help them succeed, because they're already a rock star on Facebook with fitness and nutrition and whatnot. Dream team. Those people that are your dream team. Here is an order date column. So further down is where more of these are, where you can put a date in. Or if they're a recurring Shakeology person, you could put their Shakeology date in. And you could even set a reminder to remind them to change their flavor for next time or whatever it is. This is if they're a club member or they're a free player. It's a checkbox. And the reason you might want to track this is that maybe they're a free player and next month Beachbody is going to give away 3 months free of club or something like that. So then you could go through and you could filter anybody that I had checked on the free player box and send them an email. Send an email to all of those people. So those are things I just want to track, and that's how I'm using that. Okay, so let's get into like the coolness of this. When you click on a particular person's, this is each person here is called a box. So, let's go back. So if you are adding a new person, a new contact, I always click here first because it puts them to the top of this list of the new contacts. And then, so I click there and then I click new box and that opens that up right there, and test person. So I put their information there and then I can tab over days and stage. That's an automatic that comes from the system based on when you added them. This is my notes, 119, doing a test, product interest. So maybe they, my fake person is interested in hammer and chisel. Now I've already entered this tag. So if it's something that you haven't entered, let's say Brazil butt lift, let's just say BBL, there's nothing, no tag already created. So I can click that, create a tag, and now it's on my list. Or I can go in here and manage options and I can enter them all at one time. See, those are already there. So if I want to add another one, let's say boosts. And then now that becomes a tag option. And as soon as I start typing boost, it will pull up as a tag. See there? Whoops. No. Okay, I'll go in and I should be able to delete that one. No, I'd never added it apparently. Okay, boosts. How did I meet this person? Facebook. Look at, I even have Facebook and Little League. Are they a coach material yet? I'm not sure. I mean, technically, probably you should check everyone as coach material. Dream team, I don't know. Order date, they haven't ordered yet. So right now, and they haven't signed up for a free account. Now, something that you can do is always recommend that someone signs up for a free account with you as their coach going forward. Okay, so my test person, what's really cool is that now when I click their little box over here, it opens up their information. So this is the stage they're in. They're a new contact. This is test person, so their name would normally be right there. These are those same fields, those same columns that I already was entering. This tells you what I've done so far with regard to this box for the day. If something got changed on accident or on purpose, it would be recorded over here. Okay. Stages, columns, email. Okay, so email. So let's say this person said, can you send me more information on the boosts? What I'm going to say is, yes, I would love to send you a video about the boosts. What's your email address? The easiest way for me to send it to you is via your email. They've given me their email, testemail@gmail.com. Okay, so if this person was already in my Google contacts, then as soon as you start doing it, it would start auto-populating, okay? But if not, then you're just gonna click enter, and now that person's email address is in the record. Okay, so now let's say I wanna send an email to this person. All I do is click on that email address, boosts, whatever I'm gonna put in the subject line. Here's the information you requested. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a video in there or whatever. So that's how you just do a basic email. And you can send that email now, or you can put it on a send later. You can maybe it's like by 5 p.m. tonight you want to send it for whatever reason, or you can just put the calendar in and pick the date and the time, and then click send later, and it ends up over here in your drafts, in your email drafts. So I'll show you why I have all of those and all those drafts over there in a minute. But since I don't want to do that, I'm going to stop that, and we'll just keep this here for test purposes. Okay, so the other cool thing about this is if we're using scripts, we can create snippets of scripts. So when you click snippets, you can either manage this. This has mine in it already, the ones that I've created. But if you want to create a new one, you can do it one of two ways. You can create a snippet from the current message. So if you typed something up, which was a follow-up about boosts, and you gave a little bit of information or whatever, and you wanted to save that for the next person that asks you about boosts, you would create a new snippet for current message. So there it is. There's the message, and then you're just going to name it, and you're going to name it whatever, boosts test. And this short text. So if you set up a short text to it, you would just say boost, let's say boosts. It will allow you to just type in boosts the next time that you want to send that snippet of information. So that's how that works. I can delete that later. Now, so let's say for me, I have created a series, kind of like a follow-up series or autoresponders for leads, challenge pack leads, free player leads, etc. So let's just say I get a lead in my back office, and this person is a free player. So I enter them in as a new contact as a box. And I come back here, I copy and paste the email from my back office over to here, and then I want to start them on this autoresponder series. So let's just say this was a free player. I want to send them my free player script, and this is going to be the first one. So there's two ways. First way, I could come here and click on this one, and it's going to populate. The second way, if I happen to know my short text, so free one, if I remembered, that's that same email. This is that first email that I'm going to send to a new free player member. There it is. And then I just click send. Now I'm not going to click send because this is a fake email. But okay, so let's say I want them to get an email like where I don't have to think about it in another week. And it's kind of like autoresponders in ACEO or follow-up series in Aweber or your MailChimp or whatever email service provider. So kind of a workaround, but it allows you to do that same thing, is to do one. So you've sent the first one, send, right? Okay, I'm going to close it. I sent the first email. Now you want to send the second email that's in this series. So I'm going to put free 2. So now it pulls up my second email. And what I'm going to do is I want to send it 7 days later, or I want to send it 3 days later. Or so I can click in 1 week. I can pick the date or whatever in 1 week. And then I'm going to click send later. Then it goes into my drafts. So I can set all of these up, all 5 of my free player emails, like an autoresponder from here. Now I can also create scripts for inviting people to the business opportunity. And if they say, well, I don't even know what it is, and then I can have another snippet or script for that. So this is just a really cool way to not be typing emails over and over the same information to a different person. Now, the other thing you can do in the email is, let's say I put free one. Let's say I want to say, hey, test person, or I want to somehow personalize it. I can do that. It doesn't have to be only that created script. You can change anything in here. Maybe you're already friends with them on Facebook, and so you don't want to say, I'd love to connect on Facebook. Maybe I want to say, make sure you get set notifications because I do tips, blah, 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 whatever it is. So it's really versatile. I'm going to discard that. All right, snippets. Okay, the other super cool thing is that you can set yourself a reminder for a person that you put into this system. So let's say you sent them the boost email and you want to follow up, and they it's going to, you want to follow up with them if they haven't asked you any questions in, say, 3 days. Follow up on boost email. And then there's this little clock right here, and you can set when you want that to happen. Tomorrow, let's say, set due date. It becomes a thing over here, a task over here. Close out of that. And when it sends you a reminder, it sends you an email. So if I go to my inbox right now, I have emails from Streak notifications that I want to follow up with these people about what I want to follow up with. So that's really cool. The other thing about when you send an email to someone, through the Streak system, through the pipelines and through their record, their box, you can find out who has seen what emails. So interesting. You're like, oh, okay, so she's seen it. She can't say she didn't see it, or whatever, or that since they've seen it, oh, look, it tells you how many times they've looked at it too. I didn't know about that. Sweet. Then you don't have to wait for a certain period of time. Like, you can say, oh, I just want, I wanted to check back or whatever. So those are really cool things that I think. Oh, the other thing is, if you want to set it up the way that mine is, with these stages and with one spot for all your contacts, unless they move into coach prospect and then into your personally sponsored coaches, is make all the columns the same. So, and how you move someone from one pipeline to the next. So let's say down here, okay, so some of these people have been added to groups, and so what I would do is, I'm ready, I've invited them to the coaching opportunity. So I can click this person, and if I do this little down arrow right here, it allows me to move her to the coach prospect pipeline. And it asks you, now if your columns don't all match up, then you will lose data that was in those columns when you move them to the new ones, the new pipeline. So mine are all set up to match, so I'm not going to lose data. But if let's say the order date column wasn't there, then it would say you're going to lose this information on the order date. So just a note, that's a tip to make sure that it's all the same. And then once my coach prospects sign up, then I'm going to move them into my coach's pipeline. Okay, I hope I didn't say too much. I hope that was informative for you. Feel free to message me if you guys have any questions. All right, talk to you later.